السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Inshallah ta'ala, in this class we're going to look at how to form Arabic sentences. كيفية صياغة الجمل العربية. How would you be able to start from the beginning all the way to where now you can start at least putting words together and then understand the whole process. So first of all, before we even get to how Arabic sentences are formed, we need to understand the fundamentals. And those fundamentals are the ones that take us from one place to another. And the first place that we need to start from is understanding Arabic words. How are they? What are they? How are they like? How many types are there? And how do you use them? Simply put, to say, for example, like verbs or nouns or prepositions, which are the main ones we're going to look at, you notice that how do you use them slightly, and then that which we're going to learn from there is what we're going to use, inshallah ta'ala, for the actual sentence building bi'idhnillah. And you will see how they come together, inshallah ta'ala. So let's look at the screen bi'idhnillah. Now, how to form Arabic sentences. Now look carefully. You notice that Arabic words, they consist of three types of words. And aqsamul kalima, you notice in Arabic, especially when you study Arabic grammar, simply put, you notice they teaches you immediately that they are تنقسم الكلمة إلى ثلاثة أقسام. They are either nouns, ism, or verbs, or fi'l, or it becomes harf, which is a preposition. إما أسماء, وإما أفعال, وإما حروف. Any one of these. So you need to understand that first. Once you've understood that, the next thing that we need to look into is what are some of the types of nouns, not every single type, because at the moment, as we said, we want to look at how could we build a sentence. Then it's better that we focus on what's important to see the structure of a sentence, how it's put together, inshallah ta'ala. So if you look carefully, the first one is nouns. And we say that nouns can be names of people, nouns can be names of places, nouns can be names of objects, such as Muhammad or Umar. That's the name of a person. If you look at name of places, you notice that Masjid, London, Dubai, simply as that. Names of objects, you can say table, chair, مثلا. فمثلا الآن, as we've looked into this, what we need to pay attention to is this. Because we have understood, okay, nouns are of those three types, then what we need to know is the kalimat, the verbs. How do we pronounce them? For example, a chair. You can call a chair a kursi. Al-kursi. Kursi is a chair. For example, like a table, it can be ma'ida. A table is known as a ma'ida, مثلا. You can say that. If, for example, you see a bed, let's say the actual bed itself, you can call it what? Sarir. Okay, sarir. If you see a masjid, a mosque, what do you call it in Arabic? Masjid. Now, the London way, you notice that majority of us in the UK, we say masjid. We literally change this S sound, the S sound, to sh sound with the J, and then we say masjid, and that's not correct. The correct way of saying it, and some even pass it down to their reading of Arabic or Quran or else. You notice that's wrong. It doesn't make it right. So what you should be saying is you have supposed to be saying masjid, masjid, inshallah. Those are some of the names that you could take. Now, in terms of nouns, I just want you to take the name masjid in Arabic, مثلا masjid, or maybe you could say al-bayt, house, مثلا al-bayt. We're trying to take some verbs from the previous from the previous class. And in the previous class, we said we're going to continue with it. But for now, first, before we continue, let's look into some of what we need for sentence for the structure of sentences, and then go back to the previous class, inshallah ta'ala, for what we left to cover. Bi-idhnillah al-kareem. Now, I want you to take the word al-bayt. I want you to take the word al-masjid. Al-masjid and al-bayt. Now, there's a reason. There's sometimes it comes as baytun or baytin or baytan without al-bayt, or it comes as masjid. Masjid, it can be masjidun, masjidan, masjidin, and it doesn't start with al-masjid like that. For the time being, I want you to take al-masjid and al-bayt. Take that, inshallah ta'ala. At the very end, when we finish looking into these types of words, or Arabic words, we're going to look into how do we put these together, inshallah ta'ala. So you've known. I want you to take what? Al-bayt and al-masjid. That's for the noun. Aywa. Now, What about a verb? A verb is made of tenses. الفعل أفعال تنقسم إلى أقسام as well. You notice they are either past tense. فعل ماض. فعل ماض. الفعل الماضي is the past tense, and الفعل المضارع is called the present tense. And then we have فعل الأمر والمستقبل مثلا is what? The future tense. Now this future tense, it has its own technicalities which I don't want to cover over here. But a verb that I want you to take with you is the verb ذهب. Is the verb ذهب. Work with me here. It seems a bit difficult somehow, because you might think I'm telling you to do something and there's nothing written on the screen. I want you to memorize. I want you to memorize. You can even write it in English. If you want to write it in transliteration, that's up to you. Okay? But I want you to memorize the word al-bayt, which is known as house, al-masjid, known as the masjid. And at the same time, I want you to memorize the word ذهب. ذهب. ذهب means he went. ذهب means he went. Is that clear? That's for the verb, and that's past tense. Now, as we've done this, at the very end, we're going to put these pieces together so you can see them, inshallah ta'ala. Let's go back to our whiteboard again. So you see, look, those are for verbs. أليس كذلك؟ أما الحروف, known as prepositions now, they're also known as connectors. I call them connectors, and I've read from certain books, you notice that the grammarians, they call it what? Connectors. Why? Because they put together, they connect together words. Understood? And these are the little pieces that I use, connecting words, such as I went to the, to the, to. Now, to. I am, like that, مثلا. Understood? Now in Arabic we have something called prepositions, and these prepositions are known as حروف. والحروف كذلك تنقسم إلى أقسام. And حروف, there are three types as well. There are those which specifically work with nouns, those which work with verbs, those which are hybrid, that work with both nouns and verbs. Bear that in mind. That's how it is. However, for one to understand the usage of huruf, which I want to bring to your attention, you notice that in order to understand the usage of huruf, you should be able to have some basic foundation of grammar. You need the most basic foundation of grammar, inshallah. If you don't have the basic foundation of grammar, it becomes difficult, because you need the difference of us understanding grammar and separating it from taking Arabic vocabulary and morphology is this. Morphology builds with abniyatul kalima, the structure of the word. Grammar actually builds with telling you what is happening, what's the scene. How do you set the scene? مثلا, who is the one doing the action? Who is the one not doing the action? Who is the victim of the entire conversation? And what is going on? Understood? Grammar literally sets that clear for you. And then the prepositions, and these after understanding the morphology and also grammar and vocabulary is literally like studying the entire meat of the language. So for example, if you have if you look at a meat, it has a bone, isn't it? And then you have the actual flesh itself. If there's no bone, you wouldn't even have the flesh holding onto it. The flesh is what's literally it's put together around the bone in order to fulfill the main part. And the main part of Arabic is the morphology and also the Arabic grammar, and the rest of the other one, like Arabic rhetorics and literature, they follow along. So what you notice that without these other pieces, like studying fiqh, if you study fiqh, usulul fiqh, the principles of fiqh, without studying the furu' of fiqh, such as knowing masail, this is halal, this is haram, هذه تبطل صلاتك, this makes your salatik, this makes your salat to become batil, or so and so. If you don't study that, then it becomes really difficult for you to even understand the usage of the sources when it comes to their application. So what we've done is we've took some vocabulary, such as, I'm going to repeat them again: al-bayt, the house; al-masjid, masjid is a mosque; and then we said the word dhahaba, and the next thing is a preposition. What preposition shall we take? Ila. Ila. And look at this, when we look at the whiteboard, if we look at the white screen now, aywa, I want you to work with me, inshallah. I want you to work with me, I want to change the color and use the font. Now, the first one that we said is the noun, such as al-bayt. Al-bayt. أيوة. البيت. البيت. It could be البيت. It could be البيت. Sorry about my handwriting today. البيت. البيتي. البيتي. البيت. Like that. Could be any one of those at the very end. And the other one that we said to look into is المسجد. المسجد. أيوة المسجد. المسجد, like that. Let me change this to Word so I can type on it, inshallah, and it will become much easier, بإذن الله الكريم. The word that we said we have to look into is the word al-bayt, which can be either al-baytu, al-bayta, al-bayti, isn't it? Another word we said to look into is al-masjid, al-masjid. مثلا, for example, in this case, al-masjid can be al-masjida, al-masjidu, al-masjidi. I hope you can see this. You can see this clearly, inshallah. That's in terms of the nouns. Okay. What about the verb that we said? The verb that we have is ذهب. ذهب. This verb stands for he went. That's what it means. Then what about the rest of what we need? What about the rest of what we need in this case so that we can understand their usage? Understood? I went, you went, she went. For example, you for woman, you for male, in terms of that case. And it doesn't end there. What about the dual form and the plural form and all of that? So what we're going to focus on is only focus on one type of tense, which is the past. One tense, which is the past tense, inshallah ta'ala. So that's another one, which is the verb. And then the preposition that we said we're going to look into is what? Ila. Ila. Look at that. Now these are three pieces. Okay. Al-bayt, that's piece number one, verb, noun. And then dhahaba, which is what? Piece number two. Piece number two. And then ila is piece number three. And this is a preposition. Ila. Now this ila means what? This ila means to. That's what it means, to. And al-bayt means house. As you can see, the word al-bayt means house. Al-masjid means al-masjid, a masjid. That's what it is. As this is very clear, if I want to say, مثلا now, if you look at the screen clearly, as you can see the words, if I want to say, he went to the masjid, you need a verb to begin with, and that is ذهب. ذهب, he went. Where ذهب, who went, مثلا, if you want to say the name of the person, comes in the name such as Muhammad. ذهب Muhammad إلى. See, Muhammad went. Ila means went. Muhammad is the one that did so. Ila, where? Ila al-masjid. Ila al-masjid. Ila al-masjid. Right? ذهب محمد إلى المسجد. ذهب محمد إلى المسجد. That's very simple. So you see, it starts with the verb, break it down with the noun, and then the preposition, and then the noun again, and then another noun. So you notice the nouns keep on coming in all the time. Something that you want to see, inshallah, when you read the Quran, I want you to open the Quran, and this is a task that I want you to do. I want you to take initiative to do it on your own. Open the Quran, and then go to verse number 1 of Surah Al-Isra. Verse number 1 of Surah Al-Isra. Allah says clearly, Subhanalladhi أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام. من المسجد, from al-masjid, the Masjid al-Haram, which is the Haram of Mecca, إلى المسجد الأقصى, to Masjid al-Aqsa. It's as simple as that. Now this is how you form a sentence. If you look at it clearly, if you look at this is how you form a sentence. It's simple. All you need to know is, how do you take a noun and use the correct forms of it? How do you take a verb and use the correct forms of it? What type of prepositions would you need? And how many words do you need in order to be able to form an Arabic sentence? That wasn't difficult, was it? So for this reason, as you can see how sentences are formed, your duty is now to see, okay, what do I need in order to be able to reach to that level? What do I need in order to reach to that level? I'll give you one last piece so that you can understand and see how these things work using the same past tense. But I want now to say that I am, and I went to the masjid. I went to the masjid, inshallah. This is what I want you to do. Shuf. There's something called pronouns. Something called pronouns. Pronouns. Let me write this down for you. Pronouns. Aywa, pronoun. Pronouns, they are known as al-dama'ir. 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 Al-dama'ir, they are types of pronouns, but the one that I want you to look at is this one. Do. Where does it come? This comes at, it comes at the end, attached to the past tense. Comes at the end of the past tense, attached. And this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. Shuf, dhahab, you have dhahab like that, plus this, dhahabtu, then you get what? Dhahab, dhahabtu, which this stands for I went. It's as simple as that. It stands for I went. Now, if I want to say I went to the masjid, if I want to say I went to the masjid, I will use that verb, waqul. I'll say ذهبت إلى forgive me, إلى المسجد. إلى المسجد. ذهبت إلى المسجد. It means I went to the masjid. I went to the masjid. The word masjid, this masjid connects with this word, masjid. Ila is to, and this the is the alif and lam at the beginning, and the habtu is I went. The habtu is I went. And you notice this is two pieces, like that, inshallah ta'ala. Bi-idhnillah al-kareem, what we are going to do, I will send you a short little homework that's basically a handout, and I'll give you two more pronouns, which means you for male and you for female. And then I'll give you just a few nouns, and then I'll give you the same task to do. I want you to fill in the gaps. Okay, I want you to fill in the gaps, inshallah ta'ala. So you'll get, for example, I'll tell you, you went to the kitchen. Simply, you went to the kitchen. And when I write kitchen, I'll give you, let's say, a word such as matbakh. I'll give you the word such as ghurfa, or I'll give you the word such as bayt, something like that. And I will attach together those words, the meaning of them. Then the task is fill in the gap where you need it. Fill in the gap where you need it, inshallah ta'ala, according to that homework, bi'idhnillah. And also, as you saw, these little pieces put together, and you've reached all the way to here, bi'idhnillah al-kareem. My simple ask from you is to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Also, you can look into our new program, bi'idhnillah al-kareem, that we have, the Arabic Bootcamp program, starting in January, and the deadline will be on the 15th of December. And on top of that, most importantly, do join our Telegram group. From there, you'll be able to receive all these homework. And if not, you can also join our mailing list, as you can see in the website of the Arabic Bootcamp program. Through there, we have a section where it says contact us, or maybe somewhere else that you might find. Do join our mailing list and you'll receive the homework, bi'idhnillah al-kareem. And beyond that, you will get more updates related to the academy, inshallah ta'ala. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.